Hello Internet, Austin Smith here, also known as Raptor7717, to review the Manuscript Classic Fountain Pen. Now, Manuscript is an English company that makes calligraphy pens. Their website is actually calligraphy.co.uk, and they make their pens to swap out with a bunch of nibs so that you can have a bunch of different calligraphy options. So this is sort of a review of the pen, but really a review of one specific nib, and that is the scroll number 4 nib. It can be a generalized review of most scroll nibs in general. That was poorly worded. Anyway, I'm going to look at the packaging. The packaging was actually a blister pack, but this was inside the blister pack, and I put it in upside down. This is a little Manuscript metal tin that came inside a little blister pack, like I said. And so you have the space for the pen here, space for the converter, which is currently there, and space for the 3 extra nibs. The 3 extra nibs are a triple broad italic, which I believe is just over 2.5 millimeter. If it would ever focus, yeah, it's a triple broad. Then you have a fine italic, which I believe is less than a millimeter. I think 0.7. And then you have one of these scroll nibs, which I'll show you in a minute. This is a scroll 6, which is slightly wider, and as you can see, you have kind of a 2 nib thing going there. The pen came with a converter and 3 cartridges, one of which is in the pen. The black one is. Here it comes with a red one and a blue one, which you can tell by the end. And then this converter, which is not the best converter in the world. It's a simple pull type converter. It says made in England because it was. And you can really feel the plastic getting compressed as it goes by, which is its method of sealing. There's no grease or anything in there, I don't believe. And so it does leak. And it doesn't leak the most. That's probably sounded absolutely horrible on the microphone. I apologize for the way I said leak. But it does leak. It's, not the best, not the worst in the world. It's certainly not the best. I wouldn't use it, but it is standard international, and so are the cartridges. And I would either refill the cartridges or get a better standard international converter. Underneath this thing, which is crazy hard to get out, and my converter just went flying, not that I really care, you get a nib service guide, which, only sort of works. It explains some stuff. And you can order new things, and you get a thing that explains sort of kinda how calligraphy works, not really. Alright, well, now I'm going to retrieve that converter. Okay, time for the pen. The pen itself is unspectacular. They have another version of the classic pen, which actually has a metal clip and I believe a metal cap, and that one looks a lot better. I probably would like that better. The top is unspectacular. It's a little silver-colored dome plastic. The clip is very thin. It does its job, but it seems very breakable. Not very nice. There's the Manuscript logo here instead of a center band, so that no center band makes me think that this could crack. The Manuscript logo is quite nice. And you go to the bottom here, and there's almost nothing. The pen is very plain. You uncap it, and you find the section here, which is a little bit of a texture to the top, which is actually quite nice. It's very nice to hold. You have the little place where it snaps onto the cap there, and you have the nib itself, which is a scroll nib. And as you can see, it has 2 slits and 1 breather hole or stress hole. Well, not really. It's just got 2 slits. And I thought I saw a hole, but there isn't one, because there usually is. I should stop talking about that. And you can see that it goes through the tines. There's a little gap in between them, and where a regular italic nib would just be straight across. So this essentially turns into 2 italic points, which is very nice, and I will show you that in a second. The section meets up with the barrel. It's fairly nice, but you're not going to hold it down here, so you're not going to notice that. It's not the best. One thing I've been trying to do, there we go, is unscrew this. One thing I will say is that the alternate sections that don't come installed in the pen are not very easy to install. The cartridge here, you can see black cartridge installed, and there is room to put a second cartridge in there should you want a spare. I would recommend putting in, say, a blue or a red and having a black as a spare so that you don't actually have to wash the pen out before you use the spare. Anyway, just a moment, I will give you a writing sample. So, writing sample with the Manuscript Classic. This pen is easily postable, by the way, and it doesn't really get in the way of anything. Now, as I've said, this pen has essentially two nibs. You could say it's 2 tines, but it's actually 3 tines because of the very interesting way it's put together. It's like one nib with 2 slits and a little notch cut out of it. That's what it actually is. And this makes it actually fairly useless for regular writing. Let's see. I had a little bit of a hard start there. Every single calligraphy type nib will have a hard start like that, in my experience. It's nothing to worry about. If you're doing calligraphy, you're going to have planned it. Anyway. So, as you can see, it's completely useless for regular writing. Just notice that it says UK on the top of the cap there. They are fond of being from Britain. Anyway, so I can go ahead and finish this, and I spelled classic wrong. Good job, me. There we go. Anyway, as you can see, there's a few problems with starting up and a few problems with things like that. And yeah, you just saw more skipping problems. There's some skipping problems and stuff like that, because what this is really meant for is meant for you to go slow in a calligraphy type manner. And indeed, if I were to do some calligraphy, this is not my best, but bear with me. I do have to, as you can see, in some cases like that, there's a bit of a problem, but I'm doing Gothic here, but you can do it in all sorts of other calligraphy scripts. And as you can see, this nib is not the most expensive nib in the world. So you do have to go very slowly, and you will mess up probably. Really, if you're going to do this type of work, a dip nib is the way to go, and so this is more practice so that you can get it to look right, rather than anything else. It's not going to give you perfect results, probably no matter what you do. And that's an E, not a C. Anyway, so you can see how useful it is. I mean, I'm not the best. I don't have the best technique here behind a tripod, so it's giving me a few problems here and there, but it does work fairly well. The problem is you essentially have 4 tines instead of 2, and so it's easier to get them out of alignment and stuff like that. Obviously, this isn't going to be good for any sort of laying down of ink or whatever, but it is quite nice for this specific type of calligraphy. It's called scroll, obviously, because it's a scroll nib. And what they used to do is they used to fill this with color. And obviously, you've all seen the front of a books or whatever that have these in sort of boxes like that. And then there's like drawings in and up around there. That was barely poorly done, but they have the decorative inlays in the inside here, and they're usually done with a scroll. The letter themselves is usually done with a scroll nib type thing, and so that's just showing you how that would work. Otherwise, you'd have to draw 2 identical letters on top of each other. These are also called shade nibs, by the way, because the lower line here is typically a bit lighter, so it looks kind of like a shadow. Anyway, that is the Scroll 4 nib. It is very interesting, and it's very useful for practice. I suppose even if you get good enough at it, you can even not practice and just use one of these, but calligraphy is really for dip nibs. I just mess around, and it's a very fascinating nib. It's a very fascinating things you can do with it. I really like it. The pen itself is a bit rickety, so is the nib. The quality isn't the best in the world, but it's practice, more or less it's for practice. So I would recommend at least trying it out if you're at all interested in calligraphy. As you can see, it's not good for regular writing at all. So calligraphy enthusiasts, or people who might be enthusiasts, or people who are interested, probably want to try this out. It's fascinating. Yeah. Bye.